All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
What do I always say? Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Let me just make sure we're recording. We're recording. We're recording. Yes. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to RenéMarie Stroke of Luck, the Language of Love Foundation. This is our kickoff for our 10-year telethon anniversary. Woo! Very excited. We've accomplished so many things, and I'm very, very proud of the entire foundation team. It has really been an extraordinary journey up until now, and I really wanted to take this year, like celebrating as of the 9th telethon, into our 10-year. It's going to take us a whole year to really thank everyone, like we were just talking about Mark, and really honor everybody and just really be grateful and enjoy the moments and tell everybody about the vision for the 10-year anniversary and where we're going the next 10 years. But today, this is a special interview. My family was coming to Orlando, Florida on a Disney trip. We're at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. They were very gracious to me to allow me to do this. And they allowed me to do it without question. And Mark McEwen lives in Florida. So I said to myself, well, I'm not going all the way to Florida and be in the same local area, because Mark said it's a little distance to get here, and not be able to sit down with a very dear, dear friend who is changing the face of strokes in the entire world. And we're so excited to welcome my dear friend Mark McEwen. Woo!
You're going to make me cry.
Well, that's good. That's a switch in where we were just talking about. It took you a while to get here. We were talking on the phone. I can't get there. How do I get? Disney is huge. It's huge. But I tell you, it's magical. And it feeds it feeds me when I come into this environment, that there's hope, and that's such an important aspect of our work for strokes and aphasia.
I agree.
So.
Do you remember how we first met?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I vividly. Go ahead, you can tell.
I was at Judy's Run.
Yeah, oh gosh, you remember.
I do. Judy's Run is a woman who is gone now, but she had a stroke. And so her husband invited all of us, their cars and all that, and you were on stage singing. When I said, "Who's that?" Came up and I was like, "It's pretty good." That's how we met.
Yeah,
that's how we met.
Because Mark has a gauge for people, and but you, I don't think you remember that I knew you were going to be there, and I sent you information, and I sent you my photo, and so that you knew I was looking for you.
As he stares blankly.
I was looking for him, like, I want to meet Mark McEwen. Like, Mark, I mean, let's go back, because, I mean, I know you, and our audience knows you. We've been, you did a lot of support of ours. We've been working partners for years, but our audience doesn't know what you did. Some of our audience doesn't know what you did prior to the stroke that you suffered and really changed your life.
Sit down. I went to Maryland. I loved to do stand-up comedy, and I always say I was so funny at that. I ended up in news. That's how funny I was. My hero has fallen on bad times. I did stand-up because of Bill Cosby.
Oh, wow.
And so when I told my father I was leaving college after 3.5 years to go do stand-up, he about died.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I left and starved. I went to LA. I went to New York for a second, off to LA. And I was there for a year. Drove back home from LA to Maryland, crying the whole way.
Wow.
The whole way. When I got back, my best friend, who's gone now, was a DJ at the Anne Arundel Community College, their station. He said, "You have a job." So that was my first time being on the air. And before I knew it, I was on the air in Baltimore, Detroit, Chicago, New York, playing what kids call classic rock.
Wow.
We call it rock and roll.
Wow.
AC/DC, Zeppelin,
Wow.
Journey, all that.
Wow.
When I left Detroit to go to Chicago, the person who took my place was a young 24-year-old DJ from Hartford, Connecticut.
Wow.
His name, Howard Stern.
Wow.
So
I didn't know any of this. Did you know any of this? I didn't know any of this stuff. All I knew he was on TV for many years, CBS broadcaster.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
I'm totally going back, and now that puts together why you started in weather. You started in weather, but you transitioned really. You wanted to go that direction.
Well, here's the thing. I got fired not once, but twice in New York. Radio lends itself to you getting fired. So
Really?
Oh yeah. Second
Why?
time, they're always changing lineups, the ratings and all that. TV, morning TV, they wait and wait and wait. They were always tinking. I'll get to that in a second. So I got fired from NEW. Bob Shanks, the executive producer of a new show called The Morning Program, was reading the paper that Sunday, had a picture of me, and he was in his robe. He said to his wife, "I think I found my weatherman." Okay.
He wanted somebody that was chipper, somebody upbeat, somebody that had a personality, somebody.
Thank you.
Yes, somebody had. So like more than just tell the weather. Like entertain us a little
Well,
bit.
here's the thing.
And that, I'm sorry, Mark, that was
Sure.
before the entertainer forecasters, because
I'll tell
we
you.
have a lot now.
Okay, thank you. What happened was my first job in TV was national TV. So when I go to Black Rock, the headquarters of CBS, the phone is blowing up. He's paying no attention to it. He's asking me, are you a Mets fan or a Yankee fan? Do you have brothers and sisters? I think this is junk. Found out he was sizing me up. And then he says, how do you feel about doing the weather? And I thought to myself, I could give a hoot about doing the weather. But you don't say no at that level.
No.
I can do it. He says, sure you can. We'll get you a meteorologist. We'll have one audition. And is there a question I can ask you that can lead you into your comedy? So I go down to the studio. It's packed. He's standing next to a camera. He says, answer everything to me, but talk to the camera. So, yes, that's that. But then he says, where'd you go on vacation recently? And I say, Jamaica. Everyone in Jamaica has an accent. Where are you from, Mom? What's your name, Mom? I said, even the dogs. Bark, bark, Mom. And they all laughed. That got me the job.
Oh, my God.
And because we were interviewing people all the time on radio, I got there and I thought, is that B.B. King? The news, the anchors rush through the entertainment to get back to senators and prime ministers and all that. You can keep that stuff, B.B. King.
Yeah.
So I said, I should do this. I should do it. And Weatherman never did that.
Right.
And before I knew it, there I was. And that turned into the Oscars, the Grammys,
I
the Country
know.
Music Awards,
I know.
Golden Globes, all that.
That is amazing to be, but I think what I get from what you're saying is that you're an example for young people coming up, to just go take if they never say no,
Right.
Always try it. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen?
Right.
I mean, honestly, and look where it got you, Mark. I mean, honestly, look at you were able to, have all those wonderful experiences in life. But if you didn't just say, yeah, I can do it, you never did it before, but yeah, I can do it, and then you just did it, I mean, you wouldn't be who you are today.
Well, RenéMarie, if I said, I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, because that's the problem. Most kids think too much.
Right.
Because they're rather than just gauging, oh, this could be an opportunity for me. And yeah, it may not be where I want to go, but this may be the link to where I want to go.
Right.
Or so you gotta just, what's that book? The 10 Prophecies I think there's a book called The
My
10...
girl is quoting a book.
No,
How cool is that?
No, are you a reader? Or you can listen?
Yeah.
I'm going to send you the book. I think it's the 10 prophecies, and what it says is it shows you how one connection leads to the next connection. But you have to be open to it. You have to follow that journey.
Right.
You can't stay closed-minded. What you need to do is you need to, that's where I want to go, and how do I get there?
Right.
You need to follow
Right.
those steps. So you're a prime example. Does it? I didn't read your book. I just read portions of it. Does it say all that stuff in your book? Yeah. Oh my gosh. We're gonna show you the book. We're gonna have a book club and read Mark's book. Then we're gonna have him back. I get him live, but but that's amazing stuff. You can not only be a keynote speaker for strokes, but you really should be, an enthusiast and an inspirational person, because you have that personality to do that, and and kids nowadays need it. They need some direction.
RenéMarie, a couple things. When I was a kid, if you said to my mom, get something, and didn't say please, she would fold her arms and look at you. You say, oh, please. She'd go, okay. You were. When I was a kid, got spanked. Mm-hmm. And when they spanked us, my first thing was, tell me again what you don't want me to do.
Well, back then spanking was just the norm.
Yeah.
That's how you got kids, and they didn't understand that, the effect it could have on kids.
Plus, back then, parents told kids what to do.
Yeah.
These days, kids tell parents what to do. And kids shouldn't tell parents what to do. No, because they, in any aspect, because I think we got a little more wisdom than them. Although I will tell you that, you have to, I feel my heart goes to those children that don't have parents that are, that are good inspirational leaders. Sometimes, sometimes other leaders come from the outside. I've had many come my way through my journey, and that's another reason that you need to be open for people. But we have to also teach the children what is a good example, what's a bad example. Because I just watched this program on Tamara Hall. I forget what her name is. She was drawn into a cult. She was drawn into a cult. So because she thought that this was the lifestyle that she wanted, but she didn't know the difference. Life is hard, Mark. You're right.
Life is hard. There's a lot of challenges.
Google. Kids believe everything on Google. I say it's more concerned with eyeballs than it is with truth. Be careful what you believe. Renee, I write a blog. I wrote one on Stevie Wonder, and I thought, how many Grammys has he won?
I love Stevie Wonder.
So I went online, gave me a number, it was wrong. What? So what you do, you find places...
Fast check.
Right.
Fact checks.
Right.
Yeah.
Places that you trust, places that you believe. You believe their number.
Wow. No. One of my favorite songs I always sing is Stevie Wonder's For Once in My Life. For once in my life, I have someone who needs me, someone I needed for long. For once unafraid, I can go where life leads me.
Nice voice.
But that's how we first met.
Nice.
So, I guess God put you in that teaching place, because now you're teaching, now you're sub-teaching. So you get to, what age group do you?
Well, I have stories.
Well, we got time now.
Kindergartners are sweet and wonderful and are happy to sneeze right in your face. I was sick as a dog. I did that one time. I mainly do now high school.
Oh, okay.
But ninth graders don't think they're smarter than you. They know they're smarter than you.
Yeah.
But again, I always say if you follow bad kids home, you'll find bad bad parents.
Yes. And sometimes kids are searching for someone to understand them, and someone to love them. And being a teacher is really hard.
Well, the thing is, RenéMarie, I tell them a couple of things. One, outside that glass is a world that doesn't give a hoot about you.
Yeah.
Prepare that yourself to do battle with that world.
Yeah.
Also, my mom always said, be sweet, be nice. It doesn't hurt to be nice.
But you do it, Mark, and it comes from your heart. You don't do it as an act.
Well, no, but I learned that from my mom and dad. I always say, don't call me Mr. McEwen, call me Mark. As Popeye says, a yam what a yam. Be nice, be nice. And also, if you want to be, they all want to be rappers, crowded field. Okay, don't take no for an answer, but get something to fall back on.
Well, look at Pat Benatar. She was an opera singer.
Right.
She studied opera, and now she's a rock star.
Do you know I have a Pat Benatar gold record on my wall?
How did you get that? With Pat Benatar.
Pat Benatar, I was a DJ in Detroit when she hit. And I was like, this is great. And the guy, local Chrysalis guy, gave me the record. I had her on the radio with her husband, Neil Giraldo, is her guitar player. And I said, what song should I play? He said, play She Don't Love Me, She Loves My Automobile, because that's her. So I played it.
Oh my God, that's incredible. So, how did you get into teaching? How did you transition into teaching?
I'm a sub. I never graduated from college. My wife said, you need to get out of the house. So I went down all my high school diplomas, and they said after I did the fingerprint and all that, they said go to the schools that you want to teach at so they know you're there. I went to Oviedo High School, and there was
I gotta ask my cousin. I think that's where she lives. I think she's in that area.
Oviedo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say
have had her.
Well, no. My cousin Darlene, I'll say the first name, but she lives in that area.
Okay.
So her son may be at school.
Okay.
I gotta see when we get to.
Well, when I first came up, I said, I just did this and that, and I'm subbing. And Patty Blake, I'll never forget her name. She looked at me and she said, "Aren't you Mark McEwen?" She said, "I used to watch you."
Yeah.
So now I sub.
So how did you? Because when I was out of work for a while, which it's interesting what you said, you got fired a few times, and you talk about the news that they just fire you. I can't understand that concept, and I've been down that journey. I've never gotten fired, but I got into a place where it was unhealthy working conditions, so I just said, I'm out of here because I can't take it. I forget what I was going to say. I forget what I was going to say.
I do that all the time.
Yeah. So anyway, but you said something that we talk about us all the time, and the stroke world. But your wife, I mean, would she be interested in doing an interview one day?
I don't know. I'll say this.
Yeah.
The word caregiver.
Yeah.
She was my caregiver.
Yes.
She saved my life.
Yeah.
I was in a coma, and the doctor said we need to raise his blood pressure. It will either save him or kill him. You decide. My wife said, "What?" And she is my sister's best friend.
Wow.
My sister was here. She turned to her and said, "Okay, raise his blood pressure."
How do you raise the blood pressure? What do you?
I don't know. All I know, save my life. Save my life. So.
That's pretty interesting. I never heard that of somebody that had to. But it really is I was telling my daughter the other day, because my granddaughter has a seizure condition. I forget which daughter I was talking to about it, because she's special needs. And I said to one of my kids, I said, being a stroke, survivor,
Right.
I feel that it's harder on the families than it is on that person going through it, because for some reason we have no choice. We're going through it, and it's almost like an out-of-body experience, right? And they're sitting there watching us and without control over helping us at all. So that's wonderful that they took part in I could do something. Let me try to help them.
It's funny. I always say the name of the game is to be here as long as you can. So, when you are close to the word, I won't say, but it starts with D, when you're close to that, you don't realize that when parents, when best friends, when brothers and sisters are gone, they're gone. Mm. And so all you have, I find myself talking to my father.
Mm. Your father passed.
Gone. But thanking him and my mom, because here I am.
Yeah.
They did that.
Yeah.
They did that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. My mom just recently passed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We had a really trying relationship. I'm writing 2 books. I'm writing Extra Inning, because my stroke happened on a softball field. So I'm always in the extra inning of my life. What am I going to do with it? Am I going to just give up?
Good title.
Or am I gonna fight to win it? Like you dive in and you want to fight, And the other one is to love them through it. That I feel that people need to be loved through it, not even if they do something, they want to be loved through it. You have to be respectful and love them through it. But anyway, so my mom, she suffered a stroke before she passed. To me, in my world, that was just a wink from God that you're doing the work you got to do. She could have died from anything. She didn't die from the stroke, but she had a stroke prior to her death. And my father passed on my stroke day. So
you are full of great stories.
Yeah, so I'm a bookend. Like they're my bookends, But in I promise, I don't think that all the challenges that my mom and I had need to be publicized. What I want to do is I want to just teach people some of the tools that I used to make it work.
Let me ask you a question. Did you feel it was coming?
For my mom or for myself? No. I had no idea. My family, but back then they had no idea the signs. It might happen in 1980.
Wow.
80. Wait, what time? Let me just think. My daughter was born in 88, so mine happened in 89. So it was over 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was only 26. So back then they had no idea what the signs were to be fast or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But I did have a massive headache. I had a massive headache. And I was on the softball field, coaching softball, which I love. That's why the book is called Extra Innings. And I was walking off the softball field, and I just went down. I said, I need help. So, but God took care of me, Mark, because I had my daughter Brittany. She was an infant at that time, maybe 6 months or something like that.
That is
8 months.
Infant. Yeah,
8 months or something like that. But there was somebody there taking care of her. I wasn't by myself. I wasn't driving. So you have to look at all the good aspects of it, all the positive aspects of it. But yeah, so that's why I'm doing.
We are in a group that neither one of us ever thought we'd be in.
No, and we don't want anybody else to be in, because they say that 80% of strokes can be prevented, right? And I just did my telethon, and one of the doctors said, like, they're expanding that window for for helping people that have stroke. You just got to get to the doctors. You have
Let
to
me
get to
tell
the
you
doctors.
my story.
Yes.
I was in Maryland. I was coming through the x-ray machine. All of a sudden, I couldn't walk. I thought, and I called my wife, and she said, eat something. I ordered a slice of pizza, couldn't eat it. And so they took me by ambulance to the hospital. The doctor misdiagnosed me. He said I had the stomach flu. If he said a stroke, we'd have a different conversation.
Yeah.
So I had TSA, and I flew back to Maryland 2 days later and had a massive stroke on the plane, 30,000 feet up.
Wow.
And so
What did they do, Mark? What did they do?
well, first of all, because you're they thought I was drunk. You know, I had nothing to drink. I'm sitting on the plane thinking, this is messed up. So they had a sky cap with a wheelchair. I was had him waiting. He took me through the airport here and didn't say a word to me and left me curbside by myself. I was dying. I kept trying to get my wife on the cell phone. I could barely move. And finally I got her and I said, help me, not good. And she about lost her mind. RenéMarie, a guy, it came out of baggage claim to smoke a cigarette. That guy saw me sitting there and said, do you want me to take that phone? And I handed it to him. He talked to my wife, call 911, call 911. He did, went back into baggage
You never
claim.
saw me again.
That's why I believe in angels.
Yeah.
That guy saved my life.
Yeah.
I would know him if he
Yeah.
walked in right
Yeah.
now. Would
Yeah.
know him.
Yeah.
And my journey began from that.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's incredible. We all have angels in life that help us, and that's what I was saying before, that you have to be open to different possibilities and different people helping you, because you can't expect people to be what you want them to be. So.
Let me ask you a question. Why is it important for you to give back?
I've always been a giver. I've always been one that likes to make people happy. That's who I am. I've always been that way. I think the stroke part of it just became a purpose. This is what there's so many people in this world. Everybody's got a purpose. Some people take care of the Red Cross. Some people take care of hearts. Some people take care of cancer. Some people take care of dialysis. Some people, take care of, when you're passing, the, what's it called? I forget what it's called. When you do the bedside for them when they're passing. Right. I mean, I don't know. I've always loved to help people and to give back.
She's going to heaven. Yes, you are.
But what was I going to say? I always like to give back. I don't know. It's who I am. It's who I am. But I also. What I'm working on, I'll tell you this, is I'm working on allowing people to give to me.
Okay.
That's something I've always been so driven.
That's hard to do.
Driven.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting there, and I'm going to do this. I know, but I have learned how to. If people are standing in front of me telling me, that's not going to work, while they're standing, I'm already around them.
Good for you.
I'm not even talking. I'm not arguing with them.
Yeah.
I'll just. Yeah, okay. And in my mind, I'm already around them. I'm ready for.
With me, speaking, stroke is, I call it furrowed brow kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If all you talk about is stroke, you lose them.
Yeah.
But if you talk about that, make them laugh.
Right.
Talk about that, make them laugh.
Right.
All of a sudden, they're listening.
Right.
You have to do that. If you have to have change things up a bit, because again, stroke is serious business. So you can say how to avoid it, but if you make them laugh, they're in.
Well, that's why there was a gentleman called Ed Augustus. It's probably my daughter's probably on our way back. Okay, when they get here, we'll go outside. See the animals. Ed Augustus, another angel in my life. I had just started to want to. I guess my stroke must have been 5-6 years in the history, and I saw him speaking at one of my kids' back to school nights, and he was using humor, the same as you're talking about. And I said, wow, I like the way he speaks. I like the way, I like, so me, I go up to him, can I follow you? Can I come wherever you go? It was at St. Anthony's, so I felt like, it was in a private school, so I felt like if somebody was there, they were there, like, one of someone that I could connect with, So I went, but Ed, can I follow you? He goes, yeah. He goes, no problem. Here's my second. I didn't put that on. So I said to him, can I follow you? He said, sure. I actually, followed him all over the place when he was doing different engagements and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Following him?
Yeah, okay. Like going with him to, like him to mentor me to watch. So, but the thing he said to me, and this ties into what you're saying, is you use humor, I use music. That's nice. What he goes. You have a gift different than just being able to speak. You could sing. So draw them in with your music, and then that's when you talk to them. And that's why we have the telethon every year. That's why when I was doing the show live from Long Island in the studios, I always ended and began with music, because music is. I did it way before Kelly did it. Okay. Way before Kelly did. But my mother was an opera singer. She mastered a Juilliard.
My father was an opera singer.
That's amazing. Where did he
went to Xavier in New Orleans.
Wow.
Brian Gumbel's father went to Xavier in New Orleans. Richard Gumbel was the SGA president. My dad had a yearbook. That's Brian Gumbel's father. Wow. He turned the page, full page of him in full makeup as an opera singer. That's me.
Wow.
I showed it to Brian. He said, well, I'll be damned. And Brian's like the warmest egg in the bunch. I thought, okay. And that was forgotten as soon as the book was closed.
Wow. So where did he sing?
He sang all over the place, but back in the 50s, he got in the Air Force. I'm named after my Uncle Mark, who's not my uncle. He was my dad's best friend. Yeah. He's also white. So, no. But, Dad ended up a colonel in the Air Force, and Berlin, Montgomery, Alabama, Fort Meade, Maryland, San Antonio, Texas. Been there.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't follow my mom, but my mom's, she mastered at Juilliard, and she sang at the Metropolitan. Right. I remember being in La Traviata for seconds. I think that's the one that has this Pied Piper, and we were running behind him. They probably said, we got to do something with her. She's like two in our face. We have to do something. Put on the musical. Put on the opera. But it was pretty intense to watch the back end of a theater. Because the way back then, now they use the technology, but they used to bring, like, sets would come up, they'd go over, they'd come down, they'd go over. It was pretty intense, the big production that it was. So, but I used to watch that from the back. But it was good. So she also, what did she do? She was like a judge. She coached. Actually, one of her students, when she passed, her mom reached out to me and asked me I'll send you the opening video to the telethon, if her daughter, she asked me my mom and stuff, and I said, be a part of our telethon, honor my mother. So she wrote a testimonial up, nice. She sang some songs in honor of my mother. Yeah. It was good.
When my dad passed, COVID was in full bloom.
Oh.
And being a survivor, I couldn't go to the airport, get on planes, all that. So his celebration of life, I had a Zoom with me, my twins, my wife, my daughter. I cried through the whole thing. Yeah.
And you know what? That's so odd that we have that in common too. My mother passed. She passed in Mexico because she chose to live in Mexico. And I couldn't hop on a plane to go to Mexico. But the truth was she passed already, you know. But we zoomed in. We zoomed into my mother's service.
I did that.
And she had this wonderful young boy. I guess he's not young, maybe a 30-year-old, who was one of her students, really became like an adopted son for her and her husband. And he was an angel. He would send us photos. As a matter of fact, one of the photos that is in the telethon, and I always show that this photo is my mom looking out, sitting in a chair looking out, because that's how she'd want us to remember.
Your mom is looking down and smiling.
Yeah, and you know, my mom, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but my mom and I, when she came into the state one time, I couldn't see her. My granddaughter has seizures and her immune system gets affected.
Right.
And sometimes I have to, you know, make a choice. So when she passed, I didn't see her the last time. But when she was in the hospital, when she was called me one time and she says, I want to come home. I didn't know she meant home heaven. I thought she meant home. So I said to the gentleman that was taking care of her, I said, of course, we'll do whatever we need to do. And she just looked, she said, I knew she would do whatever she needed to do if I asked, you know. And so I know, there's no doubt in my mind.
You mentioned the immune system. When I first started subbing, I saw the antibacterial liquid soap everywhere. I didn't use it. Got sick as I could be.
Wow.
You have to use it. But
Wow.
because I go into that petri dish, my immune system is going up because I'm around all that all the time.
Right.
Renee, when it comes to boosters and shots, I'm the booster and shot guy. I'm full of the new booster. I'm full of the flu shot. I've had.
Well, yeah, because you have to protect yourself.
Right.
We have to protect ourselves
Right.
now. You know, our bodies are not. You know, I'm not about taking medicines, but I am about. Sometimes you have to take medicine to stabilize your body.
Right.
You know, because as we get older, I mean.
Especially.
Yeah, our body, you know, loses stuff and stuff. My granddaughter's going to have the medicines for the rest of her life to keep her balanced.
How old is she?
She's 3. You're going to meet her. She's going to come in.
She's 3.
My beautiful Miss Program. My beautiful girl. And
So
my big boy.
let me ask you another question. When you sit there, and I've been on your telecasts, what are you hoping to do?
I want to bring hope to everybody. I want to spread the awareness. That's number one. I want to bring joy through music, which is the telethon. I am coming up with a few other visions, and one of them is to create type of recovery centers or ongoing recovery centers that don't cost a lot of money. Because money, this is one of the things that is one of the biggest things. Money shouldn't be and you have play any part in recovery.
Right.
You shouldn't worry about money. You should worry about the recovery of the person, the human being first, and then, you know, see what you can do afterwards.
I agree.
You know, so
It's hard to take medication, to go to the hospital, all that exists.
But it's sad, Mark. It's so sad that it would have to come to that.
Right.
Because, you know, we're human. We're people. Some people don't have the finances.
And some people just, what you're saying, they just can't get help and pass away.
I know. And then the frustrating part for me, because I believe that I've gone through everything I've gone through to get me to understand and have some empathy. So I get frustrated because the government helps either the poor, but they don't help the middle person. And when I was getting divorced, and I just needed a little bit of help, they said you can't have help because you're working so many jobs. And all I needed was like a couple $100 a month,
Right.
to make all my payments.
Right.
I was working in real estate. I was working as a director of food. I was doing whatever I needed to do. I was working for bingo. I was working, like everything. But they wouldn't help me. So why? I don't comprehend that.
I agree. I agree.
So our location is going to have music, and it's also going to be hopefully retired doctors or doctors that want to donate their services,
Okay.
So yeah, they'll have to pay a minute if they can, or maybe we'll have sponsors sponsoring them. So that's the long-term vision. The long-term vision.
Did you ever think you'd be going down that path?
No, not like I said before, not in the direction that I am, not with the purpose. I always wanted to be an entertainer. I always wanted to be in front of people and make people happy. I always wanted to do all that, but now I got a purpose. Now there's a reason that I do it.
Let me ask you this. What did you do pre-stroke?
Oh, well, I was just singing and working and living, softball was a passion of mine, but I was looking, and another part of that story is, I was doing the interviewing here anyway. Another part
What happened to the conversation?
Another part of that interview, that story is that I was too focused. I wanted that, and I was going to go get that, and God took me out of my body when I had my stroke, and I actually said to him, "Don't take me, I don't want to go." He says, "I don't want to take you. You always have to remember you've got to work for me."
You need to write that book.
I do have a book. But it's a small book. I'll send it to you. And then, it's not like all of a sudden I woke up the next day, yeah, I'm doing this. Like, it took me years and years. And one of the biggest confidants, one of the biggest, I don't know what to call them, dear friends who really helped me is Dominic Cordelessa. I always talk about him because he gave me tools to put in my tool belt to be successful. He trained me how to, sometimes when you go to a place, you can't be the light. Sometimes you just walk in and you just and sometimes when you entertain, you gotta be the light,
Right.
So he was kind of navigating me how to operate in life, how to make it work. He also told me that when I was tired and I couldn't think, because sometimes when I get
been there.
yeah.
It happens too often.
Yeah, so then just to not you don't have to go into much detail, just say to them, I'll think about it and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
See, when I'm tired, my voice tends to fall apart. When you have a stroke, you have to think about what you're doing. Pre-stroke, nothing.
Yeah.
I have to make sure my mouth is moving, because you think it is and you're mumbling. Certain words, rehabilitation, I can't, Saturday, peanut butter.
I can't, sometimes I just can't think of a word, or I can't think of what I want to say.
But that's age.
What I do now, but I used to get internally frustrated with myself, and I don't get frustrated anymore. All I do is I allow myself to, okay, so that wasn't meant to say that right now. Okay. So I'm going to go on to something else. The way that we go, I forgot that. Okay, on to something else. It's like, I'm not cutting it out. Like, it's reality. It's part of life. It's who we are.
Yeah.
And I'm not changing who I am for anybody. So what do you, Mark, what's your, I know that you keynote speak and you're subbing and stuff like that, but what's your goals in life for a stroke?
Well, I'm lucky. I've been back on TV. The network was called the Black News Channel.
I saw that, yes.
Yeah, I had a show called All Things Men. That network went under, but 2 years, there it was, which was great post-stroke, because back in front of a camera, doing interviews and all that, it was great. I meet people who have no idea I've had a stroke. Thing is, you know this, we know, we know.
Yeah.
And so we think everyone knows.
Yeah.
But they're busy.
They don't even care.
No, they got their own stuff going on. Also, everyone has a story. Everyone has something.
Yeah.
Whether it be divorce or bankruptcy or a death of a family member, passing of a good friend. Everyone has something. And Renee, it was always me reading about something bad happening to people, and then one day, knocked on my front door, Kim got me. Yeah.
So why do you think it happened to you? Why do you think, like, because there is a bigger picture. I don't know what your bigger picture is. I told you what mine is. I know what mine was. But what do you think yours was?
To be honest, I don't know. I'll say this. There are people gone that didn't have what I had. Why am I still here? Well, you're here, everyone says, for a purpose.
Right.
And so, I've lost 50 pounds. I exercise quite often. I eat vegetarian and all that. You have to make the odds work in your favor.
Right.
To be able to say things like that, that's the purpose.
But I think that you're doing your purpose because you didn't because some stroke patients, and this is a mind thing, this is not a chosen thing, they get depressed. Right. And they don't have any hope for life. And
you have to.
Yeah. And that's where we come in.
Right.
That's where we come in.
I always say, when life knocks you down, you don't have to get up and get back into the fray. All you have to do is get back up.
Yeah, and get back up. And Mark, you can take a break. Right. You can lay down. And I heard this the other day on a TV program. I forget which one because I'm always looking and stuff like that. Was sometimes you're taking the road. So you're not going to be the same person. You're not. And the truth is, this is what you're going to say. Even if you don't have the stroke, you're not the same person tomorrow anyway.
Right. I'm kind of repeating myself, but we didn't envision this.
Yeah.
I didn't. I bet you didn't either.
No.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah. So it's I'm so happy that Bob, and that was another God thing that he brought us together at that particular moment. He's a good guy. Bob. He does text me once in a while or call me to ask me how things are going, or especially when one of my dear friends, my singing husband Bobby Baby Walker, who sang that day. Kathy, his wife, calls him my singing husband. He suffered like 4 or 5 strokes.
Ooh.
He's.
You know what I'm terrified of? Having another stroke.
Yeah, but as long as you do everything you got to do, there's really nothing.
From your lips to God's ears.
Yeah, I know. It's so scary. So So can you talk about what we were talking about before? The keynote speaking engagement?
Sure.
Okay, so tell us what's next on your plate.
The Association of Rehabilitation Nurses are having their 50th anniversary conference in San Antonio, Texas, where I was born. And a woman reached out to my speech agent and said, this might be out of luck, but I was the nurse for Mark when he had his stroke. And she said, this is what I remember. The things he remembers are wonderful. And she says, when my book came out, she read it cover to cover. She said, it's people like him that make me want to do what I do.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine the audience will not be inspired by you. And I was like, this is great. I'll go there.
You are an inspiration, Mark. You are, and you know I'm your biggest advocate to get you back on mainstream TV. Like and because I mean in conjunction with that, like I'm so happy John Fetterman got voted in.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know him before, but I'm like I want him to get in.
Yeah.
Because he understands us. He understands us. He understands what it takes, and he understands the difference in every single stroke. And that's why I even wrote and I'm not political, but I even wrote to President Obama because his son suffered a stroke. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the things I was going to say before to you is our foundation wants it to be. You're going to laugh, but you know it's going to be me. I want to be the ambassadors for the United States for sure.
You said a laugh. You said a laugh. That's a great thing to be hold up there to go after.
Listen, I want somebody who suffered a stroke up there.
Exactly.
Not somebody who just I'm a doctor. Like, yeah, that's wonderful, but did you experience a stroke? Mark, you want to come in? You want to be the ambassador?
Maybe.
When she gets there, I'll let you know. But we are going to get there. We're going to get there. And I got an answer. They said thank you. They said thank you.
You did?
Yeah. It was a year and a half later.
Still.
I got an answer. I even have that for, and I'm like, yes, that's a little wink from God that you're going in the right direction. You know, now I'm asking God to let me, and I love my job, but let me transition fully into my foundation because I'm 60 now and I want to drive the rest of my life doing, the stroke work.
Just so you know, I remember 60.
Hey, every day that passes, we're in good shape. But I'm getting closer. And I want to make sure that I'm doing what I'm meant to do. Mark, I have a lot to do. Are they going to make a movie about your book?
So far, no, but I like that idea. I am almost done with my second one.
Your second book?
Yes. I went back and forth between do I talk about what I've learned post-stroke and all the people I've interviewed. Denzel Washington, Joni Mitchell, Spielberg, Bush, a senior, Bill Clinton, those guys. So what a guy I worked with said, you need to focus on that.
Now I'm gonna share something that I'm getting connected. Documentaries are really big right now, and even like the series of documentaries. That's what you have to push for.
Okay.
That's what you have to push for. What do you need my help on?
I did. You've been great.
I mean, how many documentary series? I mean, how many mini-series? You'll have a 10 series, 20 episodes per series, like Fuller House. I mean, honestly, with everything you've accomplished in your life, I mean, that's pretty amazing. That's what you should do. That's what you should do.
Kind.
Did you ever do you have a manager?
I had William Morris' agent. When I hit my stroke, I wrote to all kinds of agents. Each one either ghosted me or said, no way. So I have no agent. I have a speech agent.
Maybe we should start an agency for people that...
I like that.
Our brains are always going.
An agent from North Carolina, whoever he was, said, you might consider retiring. I was like...
Nobody heard that.
I was like, I don't need to hear this.
No, that's you know what, I once again, I forget where I heard it, but I just heard like somebody saying like, yeah, they got 20 million no's, and then they got that one yes. And it doesn't, I mean, look at you're gonna crack up. Look at the Golden Bachelor. I mean, come on. Like, the Goldens are in. Right. We could do a Golden everything.
The Golden Bachelor.
I'm just saying, though. But that was popular. popular.
Yeah.
It was popular because he had a different concept. He was a nice guy.
Here's the thing. They've made movies for years over young people.
Yes.
But if you're our age, you can fall in love as well. And I always say, when you're young, you're up to your waist in doggy good,
Yeah.
wondering how you got there.
Right.
When you're old, you know exactly how you got there.
Yeah, right.
But finding someone when you're older is wonderful.
It is. It is good. So I hope put that in my brain. Meet someone. But honestly, I mean, I really believe that now's the time to do all that stuff, because there have been many passings. What's Luke Perry? He passed at 50-some years old from a stroke.
Matthew Perry.
No. Luke. No, the guy from what's that popular show? Oh
Friends?
my God. No.
Oh, Luke Perry.
Luke Perry. He passed.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I met him.
Of course. Why would I know that?
Great guy.
Yeah. But I'm just saying.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So once again, you could just add that to your list of your scenarios. Can I be on one of your
Sure.
podcasts? I'll be number 52.
You be number one.
Oh, thank you. Maybe I'll work on it. I'll be the director. Excuse me, no, because I know the vision. And I know where he's going, and I know what he deserves. Never mind what they think. Like that's all nonsense. What they think, like it's what you want, what you see.
Whoever they is.
Yeah.
Or
Well, they are the people like the radio stations that think, oh, he's not good, or we just want to get rid of him. Like who?
They don't care at all.
No, it's so sad. So sad. That's why we've got to stay in our own lane, and we have to switch lanes once in a while. That's one of my concepts. Like, okay, I'm driving. Oh, you're blocking me? I'm just gonna go here.
Good for you.
But that would be good. So that is what we should do. We should start our own agency for people that have had, strokes or any challenges in their life. Even the Down syndrome children and adults, and they're doing, what is that? The Kellogg's or the Life, or they use them as a model on the front. And I think I love
great.
that. I forget what it was, but I'm like, wow, I'm like, amazing that, that it's not your general person. And even the weight nowadays, they have people of all sizes. It's not, you don't have to be thin.
Right.
So the concept always changes. We just have to switch them over.
I always say, be real.
Yeah.
I like real.
Yeah.
And when you get people who are, be real. Us talking is not an interview.
Right.
It's a conversation.
Right. And that's
real.
the way I like. And
me too.
Yeah. And everyone that comes on my show, when they come on nervous, and then they're like, "Oh, that was really easy."
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's supposed to be.
Because that's what I love to do. I like to, and the truth is, I like to, like you just said, I like to find out other things.
Right.
And I come up with a list of questions, but sometimes I don't even get to them. Sometimes you'll say something, I'll go, "Oh, like what?"
Very.
Yeah.
I say that.
Yeah.
The answer to your first question can negate all the other questions you have. Do your homework.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Yeah.
When you have done that, all of a sudden it's ping pong.
Yeah.
And I always would tell people, forget the cameras, forget the lights, talk to me.
Yeah. So what's your next career? I mean, aside from the documentary we're going to do, and aside from all that.
Well,
because movies, I just have a thought process. Movies are too long nowadays for people to go into, but they like to go and watch a 45-minute.
Right.
45-minute. So that would be better for you rather than.
Renee, without saying anything, I got a few irons in the fire.
Ah, see, I'm good. I didn't even know that.
All I want is one to hit.
One will hit.
Thank you. I always say we're in the age of platforms. You have to have a platform to write a book, to get TV and all that. Renee, I'm old.
You're not old, Mark.
Well, here's the thing. Our bunch, they're out there now.
Yeah.
It's not 25-year-olds.
Right.
They do you do TikTok?
I don't do TikTok.
Do Instagram?
I don't do Instagram.
Do Facebook?
Yes. Twitter.
Yeah.
Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't have time to. That'll take all day.
Right.
All day. Although I am I'm trying. Thinking about. Let's use a different phrase. Thinking about doing an Instagram or something. Have an Instagram account because it's kind of like. But you have to stay on top of it.
Right.
You have to
every day.
Before I'm going to be interviewing Mark McEwen today. Yeah, wasn't that a great interview? Smile, Mark.
Right.
That's what it's about. But it gets people engaged in your life, and then what does she do? She had a stroke. She wrote a book.
Right.
So I get it. I just don't have. Mark, I can't do any more than I can't do any more than I'm doing.
If there's something wrong with my computer or my iPhone or whatever, I call my kids.
Me too.
Can you fix this?
Me too. I'm like, Brett, you gotta fix this.
Right.
Brett, you have to fix this. Brett, you have to fix this. I call them all the time. I need you to even when my because I bought a smart TV. I had one in the parlor and they just put one in my bedroom and they're two separate accounts and all that kind of stuff. Gotta come over and fix it. I can't, they're there. So
I left my phone in my car.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're gonna wrap this section up and we will continue. We're gonna do a little outside video because my family's here and we're in our room. Come on in.
Oh, hi. Why'd you leave it open?
Because Mimi's interviewing. So we'll be back. Hello. Hey, we're just looking at the animals. Look at the animals.
There goes a giraffe. What the heck?
This is Animal Kingdom, which is beautiful.
Zebra.
Yeah, a zebra. Where's the zebra? The zebra down there. Did you see it?
Yeah.
The
I
zebra.
think those are antelopes. There's another zebra back there.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's beautiful. That they just wanted to show everybody the beautiful nature. My favorite song, Mark. My grandson wanted to do it again. What do you think my favorite?
You tell me.
You don't want to guess?
No?
It's a small world. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's beautiful. Yeah.
You sing great.
All right. So we just wanted to show everybody. We'll add this little clip to the show. Say bye, Mark.
Bye-bye. Bye.
No sé qué tú piensas, yo no sé lo que haré, yo no sé lo que estoy